Good evening, children. Welcome to AIMS India live session Biology. What is science? In this lesson, we discussed about the life process skills. Let us recapitulate what we have learned. Scientific method. Once again, scientific method. The formulation of hypothesis. It involves formulation of hypothesis, testing of hypothesis, analysis of data, and drawing conclusion. A predictive statement about observation that can be tested scientifically is called hypothesis. Testing of hypothesis is called experiment or experimentation. An universally accepted theory that is capable of making true predictions is called a law. Law is universal, which is accepted by everybody, which is proved. Okay? Scientific method involves formulation of hypothesis, testing of hypothesis, analysis of data, and drawing conclusion. We studied that in analysis of data by using graphs or by using pie chart. Okay? Like that, data can be analyzed. Then a predictive statement about observation that can be tested scientifically is called a hypothesis. The correct definition of hypothesis is a predictive statement about observation that can be tested scientifically is called hypothesis. Testing of hypothesis is also called experiment. Okay? Finally, an universally accepted theory that is capable of making true predictions is called law. So in the today's class about reading skill and how it is useful, very important skill. Reading to learn, you know very well. Without reading, your education cannot proceed further. So reading helps to develop comprehension. Reading helps to gain knowledge. So there are different styles of readings are there. What are the types of readings required in science reading? How to be a good science reader? We are going to learn now. To become a good science reader, following strategies you have to follow. Children, whenever you open the textbook, so the position of sitting, then the concentration, you have to come to the mood of reading. Then you have to alert your sense organs, that is your sight and your brain. Actually, you are not reading with eyes, you are reading with your brain. So what are the strategies you have to follow? Let us see. Before reading, read and find out statement to help you know what to look for as you read. Okay? Actually, you must have a clear idea what you are reading, what you are going to read. So read the find out statement to help you know what to look for as you read. Look at the vocabulary words. It's very important. Vocabulary means, don't think that it's so important only in English. Okay, every subject has its own vocabulary. Vocabulary means some terminology, words, new words. Look at the vocabulary words. Be sure that you can pronounce each word. So because most of the science involves Greek and Latin words, so be sure that you can pronounce each word. Read loudly if any particular word necessary. Look up each word in the glossary. So in the textbook, in the end, glossary will be given, or every page bottom also sometimes they will give star mark glossary, means the meaning of some tough terminology. Okay? You have to look up each word in the glossary. Then say the definition to yourself. So you have to try to define based on the meaning. You have to define. Read the title of the section. It's very important. Subheading, heading. Okay. So these are before reading. You have to look after all these things. Read and find out the statement. Look at the vocabulary words, and be sure that you can pronounce each word, and look up the glossary. If any tough terminology, definitely the meaning. Either in the glossary, if you won't find, you have to habituate to develop referring the dictionary. Okay. Next, say the definition to yourself, and finally read the title of the section. Compulsory, you have to read the title of the section. Next, now before reading, these are the things you have to remember. Then during reading, at the time of reading, to become a good science reader, you have to follow these strategies. During reading, find the main idea in the first paragraph. Once you complete the paragraph, so that's why you have to use a highlighter means some coloring pencil or a crayon or a pen. You can underline the keywords, you can underline the definitions, you can underline the main idea. Okay? Find the main idea in the first paragraph you read. Then find details in the next paragraph that support the main idea. Okay? You have to find the details in the next paragraph which is supporting the main idea. Check your understanding of what you have read. So you have to check yourself what you understood. So this is during the reading, you have to habituate these things. So then only reading to learn. You can learn a new thing. Okay. So scientists use reading, writing, and the numbers in their work. They read to find out everything about a topic. So you be the scientist at the time of reading. So they have clear idea about a topic they are investigating. So in order to get the clear idea of the topic which you are going to investigate, you have to follow these things. Okay? So it is important that scientists know the meaning of science vocabulary. You have to know the meaning of science vocabulary, and they will understand what they read. So finally, your understanding of what you have read is very important. Okay? Next, to become a good science reader, following strategies you have to follow. So first, before reading, during reading, now after reading, it is very important. After reading, summarize what you have read. You have to summarize. Then study the photographs and illustrations. It's very interesting. What are the photographs given? Okay, and what are the illustrations? Means examples. Reading about science helps you understand the conclusions you made based on your investigations. So reading is very important. You have to be keen, be alert, be conscious whenever you are reading anything. Okay, so compulsory, I said yesterday, think. You have to think. Oh, whenever you are reading, I need to find out what the parts you are going to read and how they are organized. That you have to think. The next, you need, means I am saying, I need to know what exactly that is, and I need to read, find out the parts, okay, the topic, whichever you select, and the heading, you need to think about the heading, and uh, the clues, and the relationships, everything you have to pinpoint out, point out each and every word, each and every vocabulary, important words while reading. Okay, so during reading, find the details in the, after reading first paragraph, next paragraph, find the details of the first paragraph if any clue is given. Okay, the next, you have to understand, you are checking time to time. Okay, your understanding must be checked. What you have read, you have to check yourself. Then after reading, summarize what you have read. Okay, and reading about science helps you in understanding the conclusions you have made based on your investigations. Okay, next, writing. How reading and writing helps in your scientific work. So it is not so simple to do an investigation. An investigation or a research or an experiment need the initiation first. Then it need skills, what you have learned, process skills. So those process skills which you have learned, so those, which skill is suitable to your investigation, you have to analyze. So for that purpose, you need to read, you have to summarize. Okay, right. Next, writing. Writing is very important. Without writing properly, you cannot communicate. So in order to maintain clear data, so that the data must be mentioned properly. So you need knowledge to write, how to write, which method you have to follow. Different types of writings we are going to discuss. To become a good science writer, following strategies helpful. Okay. First, what scientists? Writing about what you are learning helps you connect the new ideas to what you already know. Okay, what is the meaning? So writing about what you are learning helps you connect the new ideas to what you already know. You are recalling, you are framing, you are forming a bridge between your old ideas or your basic ideas with the new ideas. Okay, so that's why scientists write about what they learn in their research and investigations to help others understand the work they have done. Okay, unless you put it on paper, what you have done, you cannot remember each and every step, you cannot remember the process exactly. So every step, if you make a note, then the results of every experiment, every event, so that if you mention, then it will be useful for others also to understand the work you have done. Okay, so that's why scientists follow this method. They write about what they learn in their research and investigations to help others understand the work they have done. So as you work like a scientist, you will use different kinds of writings. Okay, First, informative writing. In informative writing, you need to describe your observations, inferences, and conclusions. Tell how to do an experiment. It must be very clear. How to do an experiment, you need to clearly mention. Okay. So, first one is in informative writing, you need to mention your observations and inferences and conclusions, and you need to define or you need to tell how to do an experiment. You are giving information. Informative writing means you are giving the information how to do the experiment. Okay. Next type of writing. To become a good science writer, following strategies you have to follow. What is the second strategy? In narrative writing. Narration. So in the informative writing, you have to tell how to do an experiment. Now in narrative writing, describe something, give examples or tell a story. So how to do? You have to describe and give examples or frame a short story and tell a story. Okay. Next, expressive writing. This is the third, and in expressive writing, write letters, poems, or songs. You can follow anything. You can write letters or poems or songs. So this is expressing the experiment in the form of a poem or in the form of a song or in the form of a letter. It will help to understand easily. Okay. So let's write. It is very interesting. Last one, that is persuasive writing. What you have perceived. Persuasive writing. In persuasive writing, writing about what you have learned in science helps others understand your thinking. So scientists will do that finally. So you also, after your experiment, writing about what you have learned in science help others understand your thinking. So why always we use the word think? What is the difference between a normal and a scientist? Thinking differently. A scientist think differently compared to normal human being. Okay? So they use their brain properly. They work towards their goal, but they concentrate on one thing. Okay? If you are concentrating on different things, your concentration gets disturbed. If you are concentrating on only one, then ultimately all your energies, all your efforts will help you to discover something or invent some new thing. Okay, children? Any doubt? Here, three types of writings. First one is informative writing. Second one, narrative writing. Third one, expressive writing. And the fourth one, persuasive writing. There are four types of writings are involved in scientific research. Okay. The further what we are going to discuss is, in the scientific work, you need to measure. How to measure the results, how to analyze the data we are going to discuss. So let us proceed. Measuring. Scientists make accurate measurements as they gather data. Okay, they use different types of measuring instruments like thermometer, clock. Okay, different types of measuring instruments like thermometer, like clocks, timers, okay, a balance, okay, spring balance or a spring scale, and use different types of beakers and other containers, okay, to measure the liquids. They use different types of pipettes, burettes, like that. The different things, equipments or instruments they use in measuring, okay. So it is very important. They use different methods of measurement, okay. Let us see what are the measuring tools. Measuring using numbers. Scientists use numbers when they collect and display their data, for which they use numbers. Understanding numbers and using them to show the results of investigations are important skills that a scientist must have, okay. As you work like a scientist, you have to, okay, you will also use the numbers in different ways. How to use the numbers in different ways? Okay, these numbers you will use, for example, 10 ml when you are taking a liquid, 10 grams when you are measuring the mass, when you are measuring the volume in liters, milliliters, okay, when you are measuring the mass or weight, okay, grams, kilograms, okay. So when you are measuring the length, like centimeters, meters, okay, decimeters, so like that, different numbers, the numbers you are using in a different manner for what you are going to measure. Whether length means some different units you are going to give, volume means different unit, and mass means different units. Let us see how you will use the we will use the numbers in analyzing the data. Using numbers in interpreting data. Scientists collect or organize the display and interpret data as they do investigations. You have to collect, organize, display and interpret the data whenever you are doing an investigation. Next, scientists choose a way to display data. The data can be displayed by different ways. The data can be displayed in the form of tables, in the form of charts, and in the form of graphs. These are all the three: tables, charts, and graphs are good way to display the data so that it can be interpreted by others. Okay, the data must be very simple. For example, here one data is given, which is the nicest fruit. Here number of people, the data is collected. So some 35% people says apple is a nice fruit, and some 30% says orange is a nice fruit, and 10% banana, okay, and 25% here kiwi fruit, and nearly 40% people says that blueberry is a nice fruit, okay, and only 5% says the grapes is a nice fruit. Means here the interpretation, try to understand, children. Interpretation means the data which is collected, it must be compared and expressed in a single unit. So the data collected by that one student, he placed it like this in the form of a bar graph, representing, comparing the ideas of different, the opinions of different people. Okay, one side on the x-axis and y-axis in a graph. Okay, on x-axis different types of fruits he has taken, and on the y-axis the number of people he met. Okay, here some 35 people says that apple is the nicest fruit, but 40 people says that blueberry is the nicest fruit. The same thing you can also represent in the form of a pie chart. Okay, taking different one circle and dividing it into different parts. So 35 part you can label it as apple, and 30% you can label it as a orange, like that. Okay, so scientists follow this method, and being you have to choose the way to display the data. Okay, that data which form if you represent, that will be easily understood by everybody. So that form you have to select, either in the form of a table, or in the form of a chart, or in the form of a graph, or in the form of a pie chart, or sometimes Venn diagrams they will take. When you are comparing different groups, some Venn diagrams. Okay, with the help of that Venn diagrams also, you can express the data. So in the exercise or today's quiz, we are going to see the different examples. Okay, right, let us proceed. Next method, using number sense. Using number sense. Scientists must understand what the numbers they use represent. Definitely, you must understand what the numbers you have used to represent. Scientists compare and order numbers. Compute means in the computer with numbers shown on graphs, and read the scales on thermometers or measuring cups, beakers, and other tools. Okay, so you need to compare and order numbers, compute with numbers shown on graphs, and read the scales on thermometers, measuring cups, beakers, and other tools. It is very important to the good scientists apply their mathematics skills or math skills to help them display and interpret the data they collect. A good scientist apply their math skills. You need to apply your math skills to help them. Okay, first to help yourself, to understand yourself, to display and interpret the data. If you understand the data which you have displayed properly, everybody can understand. Okay, so in your school laboratory, you will have many opportunities to work like a scientist. Okay, so definitely you are going to have an exciting year of discovery. Okay, so cost, here one example is given. Cost of construction of a house. You have given a project work. What are the raw materials? What are the how much investment? How the money is spent in construction of a house. So here on labor, 25% of investment. On timber, means furniture and everything. On windows, doors, okay, timber 10%. And supervision, several supervisors will be there, 15%. Then steel, means the different rods or iron material, 15%. And bricks, definitely for the construction of wall, bricks, sand, cement is required. So on bricks 15% and cement 20%. Total 100% is divided like this. You are representing, this is called a pie chart. A pie chart using different colors, you are differentiating the amount which is invested so that everybody can clearly understand how much investment is have been done on this particular house. Okay, so everything, whatever in your day-to-day life, you have to represent in the form of a graph or data so that everybody, you can match, you can compare, you can easily understand. Okay, So this is about the today's class about reading and about the some skills like reading we come across, writing and measuring. Okay, so every aspect is important in scientific research. So scientific research means not only discovering a new thing, the which is already discovered. Okay, so which is already invented, that also you can understand better by following these steps. That is called scientific method. Okay. So in the next class, we are going to study about how science is useful for us, or science, the safety in science. We are going to discuss, and finally, we can. That is tomorrow's class will be the climax of the lesson, end of the lesson. So today, how far you understood? Let us check ourselves. So children who are in live chat, please utilize this opportunity to check yourself the questions. The study of dash improves a student's ability to experiment and analyze history, language, mathematics, science. Children, once again go through the question. Study of dash improves a student's ability to experiment and analyze. To experiment and analyze. Yes, history, language, mathematics, science. What is the correct answer? Yes, you are right. Science. The study of science improves a student's ability or your ability to experiment and analyze. Here experiment is given and analysis. So that is with the help of science. So answer is D. Second question. What skill is a scientist using when she listens to the sounds that whales make? Okay, a scientist hearing or listening the sound of a whale. So what skills she is using? Making a hypothesis, making observation, interpreting data, drawing conclusion. What skill? Come on children, we have been discussing about this skill. What skill is a scientist using when she listens to the sounds that whales make? Yes, very good, 100% correct. Making observation. So you are hearing, sense organ you are using. Okay, you hear. So sounds with the help of ear. So it is a making observations. Okay, children. So in order to make observation, what you have to use? Your senses. Okay, your eyes, your ears, okay, and your touch ability. So these are all the important senses which help in doing. Okay, for example, you are asked to tell the aroma of some particular item. So what sense you will use? Yes, you will use your smelling sense, nose. Okay, if you are asked to tell the taste, then you will use your tongue. You can't say the taste by your eyes. Okay, by tasting, you will. And sometimes the smell of that particular food item can give you the taste also. Okay, that's why sense organs plays very important role in our lives. Next, question number 3. Which question would be the best high-level scientific question? Which question would be the best high-level scientific question? Here 4 questions are given, out of which question is the best high-level scientific question? How long ago did dinosaurs live on the earth? The first question. Second one, who made the first microscope? Who made the first microscope? Then the third question, does the amount of salt in water affect the temperature at which it boils? And the next question, how many giraffes live in Africa? Okay, out of these four, three are somewhat similar, but one question is the best question. Which is the best question? You have to analyze. So let us analyze. How long ago did dinosaurs live on the earth? Some thousand or millions of years ago. You can predict it. Easy. Okay. Next, who made the first microscope? Which is already done. So Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Okay. So if it is a electron, some microscope, Jacqueline Johnson, you can easily say who made the first microscope. And the third question, does the amount of salt in water affect the temperature at which it boils? So unless you do the experiment, you cannot predict or you cannot say this answer for this question. And the last question, how many giraffes live in Africa? This is also you can predict. So remaining three questions you can predict, A, B and D. But the C you need to experiment. So here the answer is C. Okay children, you need to analyze the question, read question twice, then go through the options, and finally you have to select the right option which is more suitable to the question. Next question. Here the question is big. A scientist who wants to study the effects of fertilizer on plants sets up an experiment. Okay, he has done one experiment. Plant A, here he has taken three plants named as plant A, B and C. Plant A, he didn't give any fertilizer. Plant A gets no fertilizer. Plant B gets 5 milligrams. He gave 5 milligrams to plant B of fertilizer each day. Every day 5 milligrams is giving. And plant C gets 10 milligrams of fertilizers each day. Every day 10 milligrams. And which plant is the control group? Very nice question. So here the farmer has taken three plants named as A, B and C, and out of which for plant A he didn't provide any nutrients, extra fertilizer, but for plant B he gave every day 5 milligrams of fertilizer, and for plant C 10 milligrams of fertilizer. But among these three plants now, which plant is controlled group? Come on, use your logic. Give the answer. Yes, here the independent variable you have to select. I am giving clue. Yes, here the answer is A plant. Because for plant B and plant C, the farmer provided fertilizer and he observed the growth. But for plant A, no fertilizer is given. So it is stunted growth. Okay. So here this experiment helps him to understand how much fertilizer is required per day. If fertilizer is more, what happens to that plant? If zero fertilizer is there, what happens to that plant? Okay, the plant B is optimum. It is growing properly. But plant C and plant A are affected. Plant A is growth is there less somewhat compared to B. But plant C, some adverse conditions. Okay. So this is called experimentation. Next question. Children, the question number 5. About how many more people attended concerts in July than in August? So here one graph is given. You go through this graph and give the answer. A 100, B 300, C 400, D 200. So about how many more people attended concerts in July than in August? Here the 4 months are given. Okay, 4 or 5 months. March, April, May, June, July, August. Okay, out of which people, how many more people attended compared to July than in August? Okay, so what you have to do here? So here number of people attended here 100, 200 on y-axis, and on the x-axis months are given: March, April, May, June, July, okay, August. So you need to compare July and August. So July 300 people attended. So in August 100 people attended. So how many more people attended in July compared to August? So you have answered. Yes, it is 200. So this kind of chart help to compare the data collected. Okay, this process is called analyzing the data. So here 200, D is the correct answer. So next another comparison we can take. In the Venn diagram here below, what shape is only part of group N? Okay. Here group M, group N are there. Okay. So now the shapes are given here. 4 shapes. What are they? Rectangle or square, and triangle, a arch, and a oval shape. Okay. So here 2 groups are there, M and N. What is asked here? What shape is only part of group N? Okay, here you have to compare these two. Yes, some of you started answering. Good, good. Keep answering. So here this arc represent, it is a part of both M and N. But here the question is, what shape is only the part of group N? So oval shape. Right. D is the correct answer. Next. How many kids ride the bus? Here also. How many kids ride the bus? So here by walk is given, ride a bike is given, ride a bus is given, ride in a car is given. So here the question, ride a bus only asked. Clue also given in the yellow here. A 5, B 45, C 50, D 10. So here each circle represent 10 students. Each circle represent 10 students. Here how many kids ride the bus? Yes, I got the answer from some of you. Good. Ride a bus. So here how many circles are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Each circle representing 10 students. And another one half circle is also there. Total 4 and half. Okay. So 40 plus 5, 45. Yes, your answer is B, 45. Okay, analyzing data, you have to represent your own method, your own way, which is easy, which is understandable by everybody, most of the people. So that method you have to choose, either graph or a pie chart or a table. Okay, which is easy, which can save your time, and which can give accuracy Next, how many people like lemonade? Okay, here some cups are given. 1 cup is equal to 2. Okay, so here punch, lemonade, orange soda, milk. There are 4 different items, beverages are given here, cool drinks. Okay, punch, lemonade, orange soda, milk. Okay, it is also one type of representing a graph, tabular representation, one type of tabular representation. A is equal to 10, B 5, C 4, D 12. So how many people like lemonade? Lemonade means you have to see only this, not remaining 3. So question understanding is very, very important. So for all these 4 types of juices, 1 cup is equal to 2. So here asked lemonade. Yes, I got the answer. Yes, how many are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 2s are 10. Okay. So the answer is A. Okay. So if you are considering this, orange soda means how many? 12. Okay. This is 4. Oh. Let us proceed to next question. Jonathan measured his new plant every week for 7 weeks. How many weeks he has measured? 7 weeks. How many inches did Jonathan's plant grow between week 1 and week 7? Okay, here he represented in the form of a graph. Okay, so he measured for 7 weeks. Okay, this is week 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 7. So the plant grows how many inches? These are inches. 10 to 36 are inches. So by the 7th day, how many inches you have to compare? Okay, okay. It is how many inches? Come on. Yes, 9 inches. Okay. Here from 6th day to 7th day, how many inches between week 1 and 7 the plant grows this much. So here the answer is 9 inches more. So each box represented 10 inches. So here not accurately 10, so here 9 inches. So last question. According to the Venn diagram, what are the most popular types of music? Here the different musics are given: blues, country and western, jazz, rock, reggae. Okay, blues and country, western, jazz and rock, rock and reggae, blues and jazz. These are the musics. So here the question is, according to this Venn diagram, what are the most popular types of music? Means in between these two groups, which music is liked by both groups? Okay. Yes, direct answer. So here intersection you have to take A and B, both. Okay. Yes, answer is B. Okay. So like this, you can represent your data in the form of a pie graph, in the form of a Venn diagram, or in the form of a bar graph, in the form of table, according to the experimentation and the results. You can choose the right way. I hope you understood the today's class. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.